Okay, so this is the last lesson under Unit 3. It's entitled Learner-Centered Classroom Discipline. Okay, so towards the end of the lecture, we will be looking into the child protection policy of DepEd relevant to classroom discipline. But as for our objectives, we will be discussing what classroom discipline is, classroom order, punishment, and again, as I mentioned, child protection policies. Okay, so we will also be characterizing the different types of discipline. No, so we will be talking about preventative, supportive, discipline, assertive. So all of this, no, will be discussed in this topic. And um, part of what we will also be discussing would be on the measures to protect learners in schools and to maintain order in the classroom. Okay? So first, among the list of those concepts that we have to understand is the concept of discipline or classroom discipline specifically. So, what is discipline? Discipline is defined as the practice of teaching others to obey rules or norms by using punishment to correct unwanted behaviors. So, that is our traditional view of discipline. In fact, we cannot separate punishment from discipline because whenever there are misbehaviors or non-compliances to rules, no, we have to understand that our behaviors have consequences. And these consequences would always merit punishment, especially if the behavior is worth punishing or based on certain rules or policies or laws, the behavior should be punished. So that is why if our goal as a teacher is to ensure that our students would what manifests good behavior or appropriate behaviors, then we have to what let them understand what uh, what it means by good behavior or by misbehavior, and what happens to them in case they show good behavior or unwanted behaviors. So all of these form part of the concept of discipline. So in a classroom, a teacher uses discipline to ensure routine is maintained. So para hindi ma-disrupt yung smooth flow ng class, no? School rules are enforced because definitely there are rules that have to be followed para ma-ensure na merong compliance sa rules at ma-ensure din yung safety ng learners, no? There are what we call classroom discipline. Okay? So while the word discipline seems negative, the goal of achieving or using discipline is to teach learners boundaries and limits to help learners achieve personal and academic life goals. Because at the end of the day, that is what we wanted for our learners. That they not only learn, they not only increase in terms of knowledge, no, or that they not only gain skills, insights, or competencies, but what? Apart from their academic goals, no, we are teachers are also of help to them in the achievement of their personal life goals. So discipline is a key component to effective classroom management. No? Just imagine a class without discipline, without the principle of discipline being there. No? So it would be very chaotic, no? Where anybody would just do what they wanted to do, no? Um, there won't be any learning, um, or even if there is, it won't be at the maximum or at the fullest potential of the learner. No? So classroom discipline refers to the strategies a teacher uses to manage learner behaviors and attitudes during instructional time. So again, what is instructional time? That's the time where teacher actually presents the content or delivers the content, no? So during instructional time, teachers would always struggle to ensure that learners listen and learners actually um, are able to follow, no? And that their behavior are that their behavior are in a manner facilitative in the what in the delivery of the content, no? So hindi sila maingay, um nakikinig sila, nakikiparticipate sila actively. Okay? Now, so what is discipline in the classroom? Discipline refers to the strategies a teacher uses to manage students' behaviors during class discussion, as well as the code of behavior that the students must comply with. So it's not only discipline that is manifested or expected within the four corners of the classroom, but within the school premises in general. So dito papasok yung student code of discipline, kasama pa rin po yun doon sa tinatawag nating classroom or school discipline. So this code of behavior usually includes rules of attendance. So ilang beses kayo pwede lang umabsent, ilang percentage, dress code, ibig sabihin when should you use your school uniform, when should you use your white shirt and the rest, no? Ang problema kasi sa inyo, alam nyo na nga na Mondays to Fridays or Mondays to Fridays except during your wash day, you should be in your uniform. Plus that when you are in your PE uniforms are only to be worn during your PE classes. Alam nyo na nga ang mga rules na yon. Tapos magtatanong pa kayo sa akin, no? Ako halimbawa, kung minsan culprit din ako, no? Inconsistent din ako sometimes, no? When someone would ask, well, in consideration lang naman nung bagyo, no? Nung bagyo, may mga ilan sa inyo nagtatanong, ma'am, pwede bang ganito ang gamitin namin, no? Or ma'am, pwede bang hindi kami naka-uniform kasi bumabagyo, ma'am. So, hindi natutuyo agad yung uniform. So, may mga ganong kaming considerations. Pero, kung kayo mismo na mga estudyante, aware na kayo sa kung ano ang rule, wag na kayong magtanong or mag-seek pa ng permission para i-defy yung rule. Okay? So, if you know that Mondays to Fridays, except during wash day, you should be in your uniform, then be in your uniform. Okay? So, the term may also be applied to the punishment that is the consequence of the transgression of the code of behavior. Because as what I mentioned, your behaviors have consequences. And whenever you do something that transgresses the rule, then you are given what? Specific consequences, particularly punishment. Okay? Now, there are types of discipline. We have three actually relative to classroom discipline. We have preventative, supportive, and corrective. Other literature says preventative or preventive discipline. So, teachers with effective classroom management strategies establish expectations. Natural. Lahat ay may expectation, no? Lahat ng mga teachers, kayo nga, meron kayong mga expectations sa mga teachers ninyo, di ba? What are some of your expectations to your teachers? That your teachers are what? Na lahat ay terror, ganun ba yon? Na lahat ay mababait. Inaasahan din ninyo na ang inyong teacher ay what? Generous magbigay ng grade. Ganun ba yon? So, not only teachers do have expectations toward their learners, but learners as well have expectations toward their teachers. But what are the roles of these expectations? Well, when you clearly explain your expectations as a teacher, when you clearly inform your student of your expectations of them, this is an essential component now of preventative discipline. So the goal of preventative discipline is to provide proactive interventions two potential disruptive behaviors by clearly explaining to learners what behaviors are and are not appropriate. So yung mga do's and don'ts, no? So that, for instance, when I discuss, you should, so yung mga shoulds and should nots, no? So these are preventative discipline para proactive siya, hindi na magkaroon pa ng disruption o ng misbehavior sa part ng learner. Another discipline is supportive discipline. So when a teacher offers a verbal warning, no? So alam nyo na yan kapag may sinabi na yung teacher na warning. Okay? So halimbawa sa mga cheaters, okay? Before the start of the exam, your teacher would tell you, remember the provision of the Student Code of Discipline in cheating, no? That when you are caught cheating by your teacher, automatically you are failed in that exam. O, di ba yun ang nandun sa Student Code of Discipline natin? So, kumbaga parang warning na yun. That's a verbal warning or a suggestion, no? For correcting the behavior while a learner is disobeying an established classroom rule. So, the teacher is using supportive discipline in that case. So, supportive discipline is distinct from punishment, no? Hindi naman siya congruent or is equal to punishment. Bakit? Supportive discipline provides a learner with suggestions and options for correcting a behavior. So, parang yung example ko kanina sa student of discipline is more of the preventative discipline. This is an example of what? Of the supportive discipline. So, kumbaga parang you are giving warning so that whenever, despite the warning, there would still be misbehavior, then that's the time you could punish. No? So, example, if a learner is wandering around the class, may mga ganyan ba? Wala naman siguro sa college yan, yung patayo-tayo, palipat-lipat ng upuan, wala. Sa elementary, maraming ganyan. Sa high school pa, meron ganyan, malamang, no? So, when a learner is wandering around the class after a teacher has announced, it is time to sit down, the teacher may say, ayan. So, pwedeng magkaroon siya ng warning. Sasabihin niya, I made the announcement that it is time to sit down, find your seat so we can get started, or I will need to hold you after class. No? So, kumbaga, you are giving them an ultimatum. Okay? Please be seated. Please, tawag dyan, umayos na kayo, no? Para magsimula. Di ba? Kung minsan may mga ganyan akong litanya sa inyo na, sige, enough na yan. Umayos na kayo, no? It signals that, well, this is a warning from the teacher. No? So that even if despite the warning, the learners still exhibited misbehavior, then that's the time where punishment is warranted. Okay? Then corrective discipline. So this is where what? Punishment comes in. So when a learner failed to redirect their behavior after repeated attempts at supportive discipline, a teacher may opt for a corrective discipline strategy. So what do we mean by here? Corrective discipline refers to the set of consequences delivered to learners following an infraction. So, for example, engaging in a verbal altercation with a learner is a corrective discipline technique, but it may escalate a volatile situation and undermine your authority as a teacher and leader. So, corrective discipline strategies should be adapted to the learner's age. So, when you, for instance, give consequences or punishment, it must always be in accordance to the age or understanding of the learner, no? At saka hindi pwede ang corporal punishment. Okay? So, especially with the child protection laws being enforced in the country, you cannot do that. Otherwise, your license will be revoked. Okay? So, sabi di dyan, though placing learners in a timeout may be effective for kindergarten, high school learners are much less likely to comply with such provisions, no? Alam niyo yun, yung time out, you just let them stay in a corner without doing anything, facing the wall, for instance, no? You cannot do that in in high school anymore because they may not obey or they may not comply, not as compared to children. Okay? Nevertheless, consistent application of consequences is an essential component of corrective discipline strategies. So dito sa corrective discipline, making use of what consequences or punishment, no, to the misbehaviors, no. But definitely, when you make use of punishment, again, you go back onto those principles that we have discussed. It must be something that is reasonable. Okay, it must be immediate and it must be consistent. Yung firmness, yung fairness, at yung reasonability ay nandun. Okay? Then we also have what? The concept of learner-centered discipline. So what about learner-centered discipline? This refers to when teachers use disciplinary strategies, no, that are developmentally appropriate. No? So, kumbaga, you are considering the developmental stage of the learner when you make use of disciplinary strategies. So when do you make use of physical admonishment? Kailan kayo pwedeng magpalo? Siyempre, hindi pwede yon. Kasi, again, child protection law. Kahit nga verbal admonishment. No? So how will you now let your student behave accordingly? Okay? Well, there are certain strategies. Instead of dealing with punishment which are negative, which is a negative approach, you rather would twist it and yung sinasabi nga nila na apply ninyo ang reverse psychology. Anong ibig sabihin nun? You rather would do or attack the strategy positively. So, learner-centered discipline involves engaging learners as decision makers and problem solvers. So, kapag halimbawa hindi pa kayo sumunod, okay, so sasabihin mo, okay, so ito yung task. Okay, so these are what are expected of you. Kapag hindi kayo sumunod, ano ang consequence? So, kumbaga sila, pwedeng sa kanila nyo i-elicit yung mga consequences, yung anong pwedeng maging sort of punishment nila. Because by that, no, they would be very mindful that they won't be receiving the punishment that they have suggested. Okay? So, this process cultivates and maintains, ayan. So, ito yung mga pwedeng implications kapag learner-centered ang discipline strategies natin, ang disciplinary strategies natin. So, makikita ninyo positibo lahat ito. Trusting relationship, respect, build empathy, repair harm. So, these are all positive consequences if the teacher makes use of learner-centered disciplinary strategies. Okay, now, learner-centered discipline can be classified into varied ways. So, we have actually three. We have assertive, cooperative, and democratic discipline. Okay? So what is assertive discipline? This is developed by Lee Cantor. So it is very structured and systematic. Its main design proposes to help educators run a classroom in which the teacher is in charge. Definitely in a teacher directed approach, no? The one in charge is the teacher. No? So might be that in a teacher directive approach, the kind of discipline which still is considering learners, no, is assertive discipline. So this method teaches that the teacher has the right to decide what is best for his or her learners. Okay? So with the contention that between the learner and the teacher is more mature, cognitively, the teacher eventually knows better. So these are the premises of assertive discipline. Teachers should determine what is best for all learners. So the main axiom of the method is that no learner should ever prevent a teacher from teaching or keep another learner from learning. So kumbaga, if there are class disruptions, when the teacher makes use of assertive discipline, okay, it's not being aggressive physically or verbally, but making your learners understand that when I start teaching, you should not distract me from teaching. Or when I start presenting the lesson and your classmates are listening, you don't have any right to disrupt your classmates who are listening. Okay? So that's assertive discipline. So learners here are not viewed as enemies and are not treated with a hostile or sarcastic attitude. Rather, learners are viewed as allies, no, who are expected to cooperate for the good of all. So right from the start, the learners are made aware that their cooperation is very essential and very critical in the delivery of instruction. Okay? Now, what are some of your strategies as a teacher? Okay? Or your methods to ensure that assertive discipline is implemented? So these are some of the strategies. In fact, if you're a teacher, these are your mantras. If your type of disciplining or learner-centered disciplinary strategies is assertive discipline. So, what will you say? So, that you will not tolerate any learner stopping you from delivering the instruction or stopping another learner from learning. That you will not tolerate any learner engaging in any behavior that is not in the learner's best interest. Okay. So, para bang kailangan mong ipaunawa sa kanila na ang lahat dapat ng behaviors nila ay directed towards making them attain their best interest as learners and that of their classmates as well. Okay? So that when you choose to behave appropriately, okay, the learner is recognized and hence the behavior is reinforced. Okay? So, hindi sa ikaw lang ang dapat masunod, pero kailangang yung ah, expectation mo ay klaro sa kanila at kapag sila ay sumunod, ay meron silang ah, makukuhang recognition or siguro reinforcement, positive reinforcement on the part of the teacher. Okay? So again, as to the methods, you could just um, read it here, but nevertheless, these are the same as that of those that I previously discussed. No? So make rules very clear. Sabi ko, nabanggit ko kanina, clarity and consistency. Ayan, clarity and consistency. Yun lang yung pinaka bottom line ng mga ito. Okay? Now, another discipline, learner-centered disciplinary strategy is cooperative discipline. This time, this is developed by Linda Albert and Rudolf Dreikurs, but inspired by the theory of Alfred Adler. Okay? So, yung theory ni Alfred Adler, guys, is individual psychology. No? So, ano ba tong individual psychology? Yung uniqueness natin as individuals and that we are actually capable of what? Of achieving, ano ba yon? Yung success, no? So, dito kasi papasok yung superiority, no? Yung striving for superiority, no? Our strivings for superiority, no? Why is it that we wanted to be the best version of ourselves? Because that is one of our ways and means of being superior than others or of covering our or camouflaging our inferiorities. Kung minsan yung mga pabibo, pabibo ba tawag doon? O yung mga bibo. Yung mga bibo, sabi ni Alfred Adler, meron ding mga inferiorities ang mga ito. At ayaw lang nilang yun ang mag-surface. Ang gusto nilang mag-surface ay yung sila ay bibo, sila ay matalino. No? So, lahat naman siguro tayo meron tayong mga inferiorities. Okay? But as to how we deal with the inferiorities is something that is unique. Magkakaiba tayo ng pamamaraan. So yun yung theory ni Alfred Adler. Now, like assertive discipline, it proposes to use the cooperation of learners to achieve good behavior in the classroom. The basic premise of this model is that learners misbehave to achieve one or all of four goals. Bakit nagmi-misbehave? One, gusto niya ng atensyon. Pangalawa, gusto niya ng power. Gusto niyang kunin yung power na meron kay teacher. Pangatlo, mag-revenge. Bakit? Kasi, yan yung teacher na namahiya sa akin. So, I will not be cooperative to her or to him. I will disrupt him from what? The smooth flow of the class. No? And avoidance of failure. Okay? So these are the four reasons why there are misbehaviors. Okay. So what's the antidote to this? According to Albert and Ray Course, we have encouragement techniques, no? So we have encouragement techniques. So what are some of these encouragement techniques? Okay. There are actually three categories, no? We could use to create an environment of encouragement. We have capability, connection, and cooperative. Capability, connection, and contribution. So what's capability? The learners need to feel that they are capable of completing their work to satisfaction, no? So yung propensity nyo of succeeding, okay? So yung teachers nyo ba naniniwala sa inyo that you are able to actually not only pass the requirements expected of you, but even the course in general, no? So create an environment. If you're a teacher, create an environment where it is safe to make mistakes. Definitely, we are infallible. Infallible ba tawag doon? No? Meron at meron tayong, we are imperfect. Meron at meron tayong mga pagkakamali. Meron at meron tayong mga weaknesses. Okay? So it's okay, no? For as long as what matters is how you stand up and how you correct the mistakes. So build learners' confidence by focusing on improvement for all learners. You don't dwell on the mistake, but you dwell on how you help the learner get up and correct the mistake. So make learning objectives obtainable. Kaya nga, pag nag-set kayo ng learning objective, you have to make sure that these are attainable. Okay? For all learners. Now, another is connection. Ano yung connection? Yun ba yung relationship? Yes. So, develop positive relationship with teachers and fellow learners. So, as a teacher, how can you do this? Be accepting of all learners, no matter what is her or his past behavior was. So, show that you like the person, not the behavior. So, again, even when you punish, you have to let the learner understand, no? Kahit pag kayo ay nagkaroon din ng anak, kapag nag-punish kayo ng misbehavior, you have to let your learner or your sons and daughters, your children, understand that you give the punishment not because you dislike the person, but because you dislike the behavior. So that when the learner displays the expected behavior, then there is no room for punishment. No? So kumbaga, it's not the person that you hate, but it's the behavior that you don't like. Okay? So give to learners and show an interest in their lives outside of class. So meron din ba kayong mga ganon? Do you listen to learners, no? Meron din ba kayong may mga consultation hours ang teachers niyo so that when you have concerns which pwedeng academic or personal, kapag gusto ninyong mag-confide sa mga teachers niyo, pwede lang. No? Pero ang tanong ay, do your teachers show enthusiasm or interest in listening to you? No? So if the answer is yes, then might as well you go to them and let them listen to your issues or concerns with your goal of course, asking or seeking support from them or help from them to what? Troubleshoot your issues. No? Give praise, build relationships with kindness and respect. Okay? And lastly, contribution. When learners contribute to the well-being of the entire class, they feel like they are a member of a team. O, di ba? Ganun lang naman yun eh. Kapag kayo parang binigyan ng pagkakataon na, o sige, gusto mong mag-show off, o sige, show off. No? So, is it not that your confidence is being boosted, no? So, you are able to fulfill your need of being wanted or of being needed. So how can you do this? Involve all learners in making decisions. Praise helpful suggestions. No? So when you make decisions, you don't only refer or confer with a particular group, but you confer to everyone. Parang democratic type ba? No? And then, pag merong suggestion, then you have to what? You have to not only praise but consider the suggestion. Use cooperative learning groups. Okay, sa mga tasks, no? Hindi laging individual, no? Kailangan meron ding mga group tasks at peer tutoring. Okay? So in peer tutoring kasi ginagamit mo yung mga magagaling na sa klase. Ginagamit mo silang kasangkapan para gumaling din ang mga ibang hindi magagaling. Okay? So contribution din, yung feeling na magaling ako kaya ako tinap ni ma'am, no? So that in that way the child or the learner feels that he or she is able to contribute to the class. Okay? Now, another learner-centered disciplinary strategy is cooperative discipline. So what is cooperative discipline? This is okay. According to cooperative discipline theory, ito pa rin pala yun, no? Kanina ba, cooperative discipline ba? Oo. So, okay. We are still in cooperative discipline pala. So, according to a cooperative discipline theory, in the majority of cases, there are four main goals that drive a learner to misbehave. So, ito pala yung nabanggit ko kanina. At kung anong mga methods ang pwede mong gawin, intervention methods kapag ganito ang klaseng mga estudyante meron ka. So kapag meron kang estudyanteng kulang sa pansin, laging nagdi-disrupt ng klase, kapag nagdi-discuss ka, instead na magbigay siya ng mag-raise siya ng hand para mag-substantiate, hindi ka pa man din tapos meron na siyang sinasabi, dinidisrupt niya yung flow ng discussion mo, at nagme-make noise siya. Kung minsan irrelevant yung mga sinasabi niya, hindi siya nakikinig kapag pinagsasabihan ng guro, paano mo, ano daw ang gagawin mo. So, the intervention method is you stand close to the learner while continuing the lesson. Oh, makuha ka sa tingin. Yun yung point nito. Give a negative look to the learner. Oh, distract the learner by asking a direct question. So, kapag halimbawa yung taong yan ay salita ng salita at medyo irrelevant na yung sinasabi niya, parecitein mo na lang, no? So, that can be a strategy, no? Bakit? Baka tumahimik siya kapag hindi siya makasagot dun sa tanong mo. Okay? So, well, there can be diverse way for you to do it, but you see the strategy at times come out naturally, no? When you're already there, confronted with such situation, no? Meron kang parang natural way of handling things or managing things. But as a teacher, kailangan ay laging positibo, no? Kung minsan ba nagha-high blood, may mga teachers ba kayo? Kung minsan nagha-high blood, kung minsan guilty ako diyan, no? May mga times na whenever there are students being noisy, disrupting the class, I call them right there and then, no? And I think somewhat effective din kasi ito yung mga lalong-lalo na kapag kapag talagang immersed kayo sa discussion tapos biglang may mamimiloso po, no? So things like this. So power, if a student of your class um, would want the power for himself, no? Because she thinks he or she is smarter than the teacher, and he or she wants things to be done his or her way, no? Or kapag meron kayong attitude na, bakit? Sino ba yung gurong yan? No? Sino siya para sabihin sa akin kung anong dapat kong gawin? No? So, paano mo daw ito i-deal? So, acknowledge the learner by telling them they are right, but that there will be consequences to their refusal to follow classroom procedures. No? So, in fact, dapat na-establish mo na ito right from the beginning of the class. This should have been cleared or this should have been laid down. Klaro dapat sa kanila na whenever you have non-compliance to classroom procedures, then there are consequences. Okay? So, another is, what about if your learners are revengeful ba tawag doon? So, I wanted to have break even kasi pinahiya mo ako. So, dapat mapahiya din kita. Ganun ba? So, kapag may mga ganun kayong klase ng um, tawag dyan, estudyante, no? Revoke a privilege daw. So, create a bond. Make sure the learner knows you like them and care about them but do not like their behavior. So that kapag may napahiya kayo, hindi naman siguro magpapahiya yung teacher ng walang rason. Kalokohan na lang naman or irrational naman na yung teacher kapag nagpahiya siya ng learner na walang rason. So, when your teachers reprimand or scolded you na napahiya kayo, it does not mean na hindi kayo gusto ng teacher ninyo. Okay? What it might mean is that meron kayong nagawang hindi gusto ng teacher. So, kailangan klaro yun dun sa estudyante. Okay? Avoidance of failure. Paano kung masyadong dampen ang self-esteem ng bata, no? Na tipong ayaw niyang mag-try kasi ayaw niyang mapahiya dahil ayaw niyang mag-fail. Okay? So instead of being competitive, nagde-decline yung interest niya, nagpo-procrastinate siya at hindi siya nakapagbibigay ng expected na effort or output. Okay? So, what will you do? Okay, you acknowledge the difficulty of the task, no? Maraming mga binibigay na task sa inyo ngayon, lalong-lalo na sa ganitong sitwasyon, no? But remind them that, well, in the past, they were able to hurdle the same, no? So, natapos nga ninyo yung first year college nyo, hindi ba noon sabay-sabay din naman ang task? So, ibig sabihin, kung nagawa nyo ng first year, magagawa din ninyo ngayong second year. And then, you provide them with the I can statement. So, kumbaga parang more on CBT, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. Kung ano yung pinasok mo sa utak mo, yun kasi ang lalabas. Kapag sinabi mong I can, and I can, okay, walang makapagpapatibag sa'yo. Pero kapag sinabi mo ng I can't, kahit gaano karami ang supporters mo, kapag ikaw mismong nagsabing I can't, wala na talaga. Okay? Then, we also have democratic discipline. So, according to the Encarta Dictionary, democratic discipline or democracy rather is characterized by free and equal participation in government or in decision-making process. So in classroom management and even when it comes to decision-making relative to all activities in the classroom, establishing of rules, consequences in case of misbehavior, okay, discipline, all of this, the learners have a say, no? So learners feel valued and trusted because they are provided with choices. in terms of classroom policies and learning procedures. Okay? So, hindi ba mas nagiging accountable kayo kapag involved kayo sa mga ganitong eksena? Okay, still on democratic discipline. In a democratic classroom, the school encourages self-discipline, responsibility, decision-making, and independence. But unacceptable behavior will occur and must be addressed. No? So, while you may have while you may enjoy a certain degree of freedom when it comes to um, classroom tasks, no? It has to be clear that there are still what there are still things that need to be not that are to be done whenever there are unacceptable behaviors or that there are consequences to misbehaviors. Okay? What are some of the techniques? Okay, so um okay. So first is that they are well informed, no? Yan. So sabi dyan, educators should let the learners know upfront that he or she is not only there to educate them, but also to protect their rights. So you have to ensure your learners that as a teacher, the one of your primordial concerns would be the enforcement of the constitutional rights of the learner. No? So I'm sure you know what it meant by constitutional rights. Your right to life, right to be educated, right for protection, right for yan, yung mga basic rights ninyo. Okay? Your freedom, your privacy. So, things like this. Ayan. So, ito yung mga yon yung kailangan i-consider ng isang teacher na ang gamit ay democratic discipline. The freedom, justice, and equality. Okay? So, it has to be clear that the teacher and the learner have rights to freedom in the classroom. Okay? That means that they have the right to be this. You have the right to be yourself, to express yourself without fear, and be able to make choices for yourselves. Okay? So, napaka-learner-centered talaga. Justice, that in case there are rules, there are consequences of the rules, no? So that when there are non-compliances to the rules and misbehaviors, there are punishment. Okay? But still with what? Due process. Okay? Equality, no? So, um, you and I have the right to equality in the classroom. So, equal right to succeed, fairness, right to be accorded with respect, fairness, and dignity. Okay? And lastly, no, for democratic method, there are four responsibilities that are expected of learners. No, we have respect of property. Okay. In fact, whenever there are destruction to property of the government or of the school, there are corresponding consequences. Commitment to learning. O, ayan. Inuulit ko commitment to learning. Learners must make every effort to learn. So it's not our primary concern while we are there to deliver the content, but we have to meet halfway, no? We have to exert every effort for you to learn. Okay? Because you see, no matter how much we wanted you to learn, no matter how good our strategies are, perhaps, or no matter how much we wanted you to learn, if in the first place you are not interested to learn, then there can be no learning to take place. Then another would be health and safety. No? Kaya yung mga bullying, anti-bullying, mga ano ba yung mga pinaggagawa nyo na that would cause threat or that would be deterrence to the health and safety of your co-learners. And mga verbally malign. Ba? Yung sinasabi nyo, ay, amuno, ikuncho, prostitute yan. Diba, meron kaming mga hinihiring dito. May mga hinihiring kami dito. Diba, may mga ganun tayong cases no? Na you you call names, you label some of your classmates, you call them names that are not actually their names. So don't take it literally, ha? May mga sinasabi kayo, oh, alam niyo si ganito kwan yan. Um, ano ba 'yun? Ah, prostitute. May mga ganun eh. Okay? So you insult, you bully. Oh, that's it. That's just but the bottom line. You bully your classmates. And you see, one of your role is not to do that. Oh, sabi diyan, you have to ensure that you you are creating an environment which is facilitative to the physical, emotional, and mental health of your co-learners. Okay, and then we also have respecting the right of others. Oh, syempre, the right to privacy, the right to what? The right to be the right to be respected, no? You should not be disruptive in the classroom. Okay? The right of your classmates to learn, you should not disrupt that. Okay? Now, relative to learner-centered discipline is also the concept of classroom order. Okay, so what is classroom order? It refers to the set of procedures that the teacher develops to maximize the time devoted to instruction. So it is only indirectly linked to and is conceptually independent of classroom disruption. Okay? As much as possible, we wanted to have orderliness, no, in our classroom to ensure that our schedules of to-do list, no, um, are enforced or are concretized, no? So the ultimate goal of classroom order is to enable instruction. So halimbawa yan, dahil merong mga bagyo, wala nang classroom order, di ba? Okay? So, yung disruption, suspension ng classes, at nag-i-impede ng instruction. Although, syempre, meron tayong mga strategies. Kaya nga, ano ba yung term ng school? We have contingency plan. So, what is your alternate resolution of this issue of not holding the class face-to-face? Well, we conduct it synchronously or asynchronously. Now, given the suspension of classes, walang klase. So, paano ka magkaklase ngayon synchronously kung wala ngang klase? No? Dahil maraming mga lugar ang nabaha, maraming mga lugar ang walang kuryente. Then, the teacher comes up with a remedy of coming up with video lecture. Oh. So ngayon, problema nyo na kapag hindi kayo nakinig sa video lecture. Diba? Kasi that, again, that's your responsibility. I have to underscore that. Okay? So, ayan. Ano pa ba? Ito, punishment. So, this would be now the last slides, no? What about punishment versus positive discipline? So, if you're a learner-centered teacher, you are more of the positive discipline rather than the punishment. Okay? Although punishment can be an effective way of modifying or changing behavior, but only if it is first reasonable, second immediate, and third consistent. No? So babalik tayo dun sa firmness, fairness, and reasonableness. Okay. Now, punishment is the reaction to a lack of discipline. So the first step to preventing the need for punishment is to teach and encourage discipline. Kaya ka lang nagpa-punish ay dahil may misbehavior. Bakit may misbehavior? Kasi kulang siya ng disiplina. So ang dapat unang gawin ay turuan siya ng kung ano ang dapat na ng proper behavior or ng disiplina, ng tamang disiplina. Okay? So the meaning of punishment is an action or penalty that is imposed on a learner for misbehaving or breaking a rule. However, the impact on learners can be detrimental. Marami ng mga researches or theories na nagsasabi na hindi actually ganun ka-effective ang punishment. may mga nagsasabing, well, effective lang siya kung ito, yung tatlo na rason kung bakit siya effective. Pero, um, punishment can actually be used to control the behavior of learners in different ways. First is negative discipline, involving verbal disapproval and reprimands, and corporal punishment involving severe emotional or physical pain. Siyempre, alinman dito sa dalawa, o pwede siguro natin gamitin yung negative discipline pero not the corporal punishment, especially in DepEd. O kahit nga sa CHED, di ba? Kasi meron tayong mga tinatawag na protection laws. You cannot in any way make use of corporal punishment. But instead, we advocate positive discipline. So what is positive discipline? It's a positive method of teaching learners self-control, while punishment is a technique used to enforce discipline. So creating a strong sense of classroom management where learners feel safe and respected means that learners know what is expected of them and they can make the choice to follow those expectations or not. So positive discipline is the practice of training or teaching a learner to obey the code of behavior rules in both the short and long term. So instead of controlling the behavior, teachers can use positive discipline to develop a child's behaviors through self-control and making positive choices. So, paano? Ano-ano ang mga pwedeng gawin? Okay, there is an enumeration of techniques. Set the classroom rules. Kailangan klaro, may rule at klaro ang mga rules. Consistent ang mga rules. At siguro, yung application ng mga rules or yung implementation ng mga rules. Kasi kung minsan yun ang problema, ang dami nating rules, ang ganda ng mga rules, pero hindi siya consistently implemented. At saka yung expectations. Okay? Set goals, appropriate behavior should be reinforced. Okay. So whenever there are good deeds or good behaviors, yun yung nire-reward mo, yun yung binibigyan mo ng feedback at nire-reinforce. Okay? Whenever there are conflicts, as much as possible, you remain neutral. Okay? Ayan. So, when there are misbehaviors, you don't directly implore or employ the consequence or the punishment, but you what? You dig on the reason or the root cause. Bakit kaya siya absentee? I-drop ko na lang siya. Pero kaya pala siya absentee kasi lagi siyang nalilate sa'yo, nahihiya na siyang pumasok. Bakit siya laging nalilate? Kasi working student pala siya. Oh? So, saka mo lang maiintindihan ng bata kapag nakausap mo at nakita mo ang rason ng misbehavior niya. Okay? And then, when you come to know the rationale of the misbehavior, you decide to help the student. Okay? Ano pa? Learner dignity, respect, sabi nga nila. Okay? Ano pa? Praised, no? Reward, model, model appropriate behaviors. Anong ibig mong sabihin? Siyempre, kung gusto mong ito yung klase ng estudyanteng meron ka, kailangan yun din ang makita nila sa'yo. No? So gusto mo halimbawa na maging effective sila, gusto mo halimbawa na dapat ay nagko-comply sila pero ikaw rin mismo hindi nagko-comply, no? Gusto mong lagi mong sinasabi na kailangan lagi kayong pumapasok pero ikaw mismo hindi mo sila pinapasukan. Hindi ka pumapasok sa klase nila, hindi ka nagkaklase. Okay? So yan, listen. You give them freedom to make choices and then you listen to them. Okay? Ano pa? What are some of the benefits daw of positive discipline? So, there is an enumeration of the positive benefits. Okay? Regardless of this or irrespective of the enumeration, ang pinaka-bottom line lang yan ay, well, it helps in the attainment of effective classroom management. Okay? So there will be more respect, they are more engaged, less disciplinary measures, fewer suspension and expulsion or reprimands. They see the rules as fair and reasonable. Attendance improves, academic performance improves. So lahat na it follows. Okay, and the last slides would be about the child protection policy of DepEd. Okay, you have to understand that as per our law in the Philippines, no, the role of the teachers are anchored. The role of the teachers is anchored to the concept of in loco parentis. No? What do we mean by in loco parentis? No? In the place of a parent. So we are your second parents. We are your surrogate parents. In the absence of your parents, we serve as your second parent. No? In school, we are your parents. And as your parents, we have the legal responsibility, no, to take action, especially actions which are toward your welfare, toward your safety, toward your protection, toward the fulfillment of what? Of the duty, no? Of making sure of your physical and mental health, no? So we have what we call RA 4610, an act providing for stronger deterrence and special protection against child abuse, exploitation, and discrimination. So this serve as what the legal framework or legal basis of DepEd Order number 40, no, which adopted the policy to provide special protection to children who are gravely threatened and endangered by circumstances which affect their development, no, and ensure that they are assisted, no, in their rehabilitation. So this talks about the zero tolerance policy for any act of child abuse, exploitation, violence, discrimination, bullying, and other related offenses. So there is an enumeration actually of acts, no, which are punishable, no, if done by teachers or by any member of the academic community. Halimbawa, bullying, ginawa ng classmate. Oh. Meron ba, pwede bang kasuhan? Pwede, no? So, in relation to RA 4610. Okay? So, what are the different violences or punishment, violence or punishments, no? That when directed to a student is also a violation of the RA 4610. So based on DepEd Order number 40, no, violence against children in school refers to any act or a series of acts committed by school administrators, principal, dean, CEO, president, program chair, academic and non-academic personnel, faculty, guard, librarians, non-academic, no, non-teaching, against a child or against a learner, which result in or is likely to result in physical, sexual, psychological harm or suffering. So physical, piningot ako sa tenga, ma'am. Dahil sa tindi ng pagkapingot, napunit ang aking, ano ba tawag dito sa external ear, ma'am Bev? Pina. Oh, piningot ako ni ma'am. Sa tindi ng pagkapingot, napunit yung aking pina. Tapos naapektuhan ang aking pandinig. Although syempre yung cochlea nasa inner ear naman, ano. So, is that something that is that could be under this law? No? Yes. The answer is yes. Okay? Or pinahiya ako, ma'am, kung ano-anong sinabi sa akin. Buti sana, ma'am, kung ako lang nakarinig. No? Marami pang nakarinig na iba at dahil doon, hindi na ako makatulog dahil ako ay napahiya. So, can that be under this, can that be something that is in violation of this law? Yes. Okay? So, corporal punishment is a no-no, no? Hindi pwede kahit justifiable sana na pinanish mo siya kasi meron siyang nagawang hindi maganda, hindi ground yun para i-punish mo siya through corporal punishment forms of corporal punishment, no? Like what are these forms of corporal punishment? No? Blows, no? Tadyakan mo, sintukin mo, paluin mo, sampalin mo, okay? Beating, kicking, hitting, slapping, or slashing of any part of the child's body. Striking of a child's face or hand, no? Ano ba yun? Pinokpo mo yung ulo na, kunana, you strike the head. Okay? So, meaning to say, yung no contact zone. Okay? Pulling hair. Okay? Sinabunutan mo. Oh my God. Shinake mo. Okay? Cutting or piercing, dragging, pushing or throwing a child. So, wala pa naman sigurong teacher. Meron bang nakagawang teacher ng ganyan? Wala. Kung meron, nag-viral na yan. 'Di ba? Yung ano na nga lang, yung ano ba yon yung teacher na pinagtanggol ni Sara Duterte, yung about sa board passer ako, sabi niya, 'di ba? O, nag-viral na siya. Di mas lalo na kung merong corporal punishment. So, all of this, forcing a child to perform physically painful or damaging acts, such as, pinagbuhat mo siya ng mabibigat, tapos pinaluhod mo siya sa merong mga stones or pebbles. No? 'Di ba? Ito yung mga form of punishment noon. Okay, ano pa? Exposure to fire, ice, water, smoke, sunlight. Okay? Tying up, tinali mo. O di kaya ay inilak mo siya sa room. Verbal abuse. Ha? Kung ano-anong pinagsasabi mo. Okay? Ridicule, denigrating the child. Forcing a child to wear a sign to undress or disrobe. O, pinaghubad mo. Okay? Sa harap ng nakararami para siya ay mapahiya. Confiscation. Permanent, kasi pwedeng confiscation na temporary. O sige, you are to take the exam. For the meantime, you submit or you give me all your cell phones. Kuna na temporary confiscation yon. Okay, pagkatapos ng exam, ibalik mo din lang. Kasi kung hindi mo na binalik yung iPhone niya, aba, kasama yan dito, permanent confiscation of personal property of pupils, learners, except when such pieces of property pose a danger to the child. Okay, meron siyang exemption to the rule. Okay? And then, on the other hand, yung bullying or peer abuse din. So ito, yung una, pwedeng ang culprit, yung teacher, yung school administrator, yung non-teaching personnel. Dito naman, mga learners. Okay? Bullying or peer abuse. So yan, ang culprit naman dito ay mga kapwa mo estudyante. So threats to inflict a wrong upon the person, honor, or property of the person or on his or her family. Stalking or constantly following. O yan, kapag may na-in-love sa'yo at hindi mo pinapansin, i-stalk ka niya. Oh, hindi ba nakakatakot yun? Hindi lang sa social media kanya ini-stalk, kundi personally, ini-stalk kanya. Every now and then, the co-learner follows you through wherever you go. Di ba? Nakakatakot. Taking of property also is or can be um what do you call that? Interpreted as an act which is a form of bullying or peer abuse. Okay? Ano pa? So ito yung mga details niya. Public humiliation, okay, pinahiya mo sa publiko, okay, public or malicious imputation of a crime or a vice or defect, no? Pinagkakalat mo na pokpok siya, deliberate destruction or defacement, no? Of or damage to the child's property, may cellphone siya, binato mo dahil nainggit ka dahil iPhone 16 Pro Max, okay? Physical violence. Ayan. So, alam niyo naman kung anong physical violence. Okay? Demanding or requiring sexual or monetary favors. Oh, sabi niya. Patro o kwarto? Sabi niya sa'yo. So, sexual ano na yan ha? Harassment. Apart from RA 4610, meron pa tayo nung anti-sexual harassment. Okay? Then we have cyber bullying, yung Safe Spaces Act. Marami tayong mga batas, mga protection laws. Okay, so nevertheless, the point here is that as a teacher, as a future teacher, lagi niyong tatandaan na pinaghirapan niyo ang inyong mga lisensya. Okay? So ang ibig sabihin nun ay hindi kayo gagawa ng anumang action sa inyong mga estudyante o kahit sa kapwa ninyo faculty members later on, no, na siyang dahilan para ma-revoke ang inyong lisensya. Okay? So, I think that's the end of the lecture. Okay? So, I will be posting this lecture video or video lecture to your GC. And I hope you've learned something. In case you have questions, I'm giving you the freedom to post it on our GC for us to actually deliberate, to talk about, for us to have a discourse. Okay? So thank you and good day.